My beloved, my child of light, my heart's treasure. Can you feel that sudden chill across your skin? That isn't the wind. It is the breath of a voice trying to reach you. A voice that once belonged to someone you loved deeply. And now Archangel Michael says, do not take this lightly. This voice is calling your name right now. You see, my beloved, not every message from heaven waits. Some come once, like a whisper in the storm. And if you ignore it, it fades into silence forever. Michael says this one is different. Because your loved one has been knocking, crying, pleading for you to listen. This is why I beg you, open this fully. Do not skip. Do not delay. Because the one you lost is not lost at all, they are here. Right now, speaking through this moment. And Archangel Michael says, before this message is erased forever, your soul must hear their warning. But listen carefully, heaven speaks in layers. One line hides another. One truth opens a doorway to the next. And if you leave in the middle, you will never know the full truth they sent. Before I go deeper, let me ask you. Have you subscribed to this channel of light yet? Because, my beloved, every time you subscribe, it is not just a button. It is a prayer, a connection, a signal to heaven saying, yes, I am open. Yes, I am listening. Yes, I am ready for what God has for me. And those who stay connected here, always witness miracles unfold. Now, hear this. The warning they are sending is urgent. It is not to frighten you, but to save you. A voice from the other side has seen what your eyes cannot. They know what is hidden in the shadows around you. And Archangel Michael says, they are trying to protect you from what is coming. My child, do you realize what this means? The one you mourn is not silent. They have found a way to break through the veil of eternity. Only to reach you, only to say your name, only to protect your soul. And the truth? You were never alone. You only thought they were gone. But heaven allowed this moment so that you could hear them once more. If you close your heart now, you will miss their final chance to warn you. That is why I repeat again. Michael says, do not wait. Open this immediately, before it vanishes like smoke. Because once it fades, no angel, no saint, no prayer can bring it back. My beloved, my chosen one, I must tell you again with urgency, there are messages that heaven whispers once, and when they are missed, they are never heard again. You are standing at the doorway of one such moment. A loved one who has crossed into the other side has pressed their hands against the veil, and heaven has allowed their voice to break through for you. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, sword of light raised, not for battle, but for protection, because the words you are about to hear carry both a warning and a blessing. This is not an ordinary moment. This is a crossing of realms. And if you give me your full heart here, if you don't skip, if you let every word soak into your spirit, then you will not just hear about your loved one, you will feel them, standing so close that your soul trembles. I want you to remember something right now. All your life, you thought goodbyes were permanent. You thought that once a person took their last breath, they were gone forever, beyond reach. But heaven wants to shake that belief today. Because God never designed love to die. Love is eternal. It stretches across lifetimes, across heavens, across universes. And the bond you share with the one you lost has not broken, it has only transformed. This message you are holding in your hands is proof. Proof that they are alive in eternity. Proof that they care enough to fight through the walls between this world and the next, just to reach you, to whisper your name, to warn you of something that lies ahead. My child, listen, Michael says their message is wrapped in urgency because time is shorter than you think. They are not warning you to cause fear. They are warning you because they still love you, and they cannot rest until you are safe. This is why heaven allowed this moment, why Archangel Michael himself is standing as the messenger. Do you understand how rare this is? Heaven doesn't always grant permission for souls to reach through. But in your case, God Himself said yes. Why? Because you matter. Because you are chosen. Because what lies ahead of you is so important that the voice from the other side was allowed to intervene. Think about the chills you've been feeling lately, the strange dreams you've had, the way your heart suddenly stops and feels like someone is calling your name in an empty room. Those are not coincidences. That is their presence brushing against your spirit, reminding you that they are close. And Michael says that if you keep reading, you will recognize the signs they've been sending you all along. The flicker of the lights, the sudden scent that comes and goes, the memory that floods you at random moments, these are not tricks of your mind. These are their fingerprints on your life, their way of reaching for you. Now, let me tell you this, Michael says that your loved one sees something ahead, something hidden from your eyes. You've been walking on a path that seems normal, but the spiritual realm has seen what you cannot. And so the warning comes, not to scare you, but to prepare you. There is a door that is about to open, a decision that is about to appear, a crossroad waiting for you. And if you walk without this knowledge, you may stumble. But if you listen, if you hold on to this voice from beyond, you will step into protection, into blessing, into the very miracle that God has been saving for you. You are probably wondering, why me? Why now? Why would they break through tonight, in this very moment, when I could have gone years without hearing anything? My beloved, Michael smiles when you ask this, because heaven's timing is never random. You were meant to see this today. Not yesterday. Not a year ago. Today. Because your spirit is ready. Because your faith, even when you thought it was small, has been enough to open a window. Because you have cried in silence, and God heard those tears, and answered by sending a messenger from beyond. Nothing is random. Every word you are hearing right now has been written into heaven's book before you were even born. Now, let me tell you this, Michael says that your loved one sees something ahead, something hidden from your eyes. You've been walking on a path that seems normal, but the spiritual realm has seen what you cannot. And so the warning comes, not to scare you, but to prepare you. There is a door that is about to open, a decision that is about to appear, a crossroad waiting for you. And if you walk without this knowledge, you may stumble. But if you listen, if you hold on to this voice from beyond, you will step into protection, into blessing, into the very miracle that God has been saving for you. You are probably wondering, why me? Why now? Why would they break through tonight, in this very moment, when I could have gone years without hearing anything? My beloved, Michael smiles when you ask this, because heaven's timing is never random. You were meant to see this today. Not yesterday. Not a year ago. Today. Because your spirit is ready. Because your faith, even when you thought it was small, has been enough to open a window. Because you have cried in silence, and God heard those tears, and answered by sending a messenger from beyond. Nothing is random. Every word you are hearing right now has been written into heaven's book before you were even born. My child, Michael says your loved one has been waiting for this moment. They have stood beside you in silence, aching to speak, but heaven held them back until the time was right. And now the time is right. They are here. Their voice is trembling with urgency, with love, with longing. They want to warn you that not everyone around you is what they seem. They have seen the whispers behind your back, the envy that hides behind false smiles, the traps that are being laid in places you would never expect. And they say, do not fear, for Michael stands with you. But you must listen. You must be alert. You must trust that the whispers of heaven are not lies, but truth. Do you feel your chest tightening? That is your soul recognizing the truth. That is your spirit resonating with their presence. That is their hand reaching for yours across eternity. And if you dare to stay with me until the end, you will receive the full warning, the full comfort, the full miracle they are trying to give. If you stop here, you will only catch fragments, and fragments are never enough to save a soul. Heaven does not want you half-fed. Heaven wants you overflowing. Let me pause for one sacred moment to tell you this: your connection here matters. If you haven't already, my beloved, subscribe to this river of light. Because it is not just about content, it is about covenant. Every time you press that button, you align yourself with a flow of heaven that keeps reaching for you, again and again, no matter where you are. I have seen too many miss their miracles simply because they didn't stay connected. Don't let that be you. Stay. Anchor yourself. Because the more you remain, the more heaven can pour. Now, Michael says your loved one is standing close, almost pressing their lips to your ear. They are repeating your name, over and over, as if to make sure you know it is them. They are telling you that they have not abandoned you, not even for a second. That every battle you have fought, they have been watching, crying, sometimes even laughing with joy when you smiled. And now, because the days ahead carry both risk and blessing, they are allowed to speak. They say, listen, for what is coming cannot be ignored. You must choose carefully, for one choice leads to loss, and the other leads to glory. Do you hear that? The urgency in their tone? The trembling in your heart right now is not fear, it is recognition. It is your soul remembering their love. It is your spirit saying, yes, this is real. Yes, this is them. Yes, this is my moment. Do not deny yourself this. Do not walk away. Heaven has torn open the veil for you, and you must walk through it. My beloved, you are trembling because your soul recognizes that this is not just a message, it is a visitation. A visitation that heaven has carefully allowed, knowing that your heart has carried wounds that no human hand could heal. You have felt abandoned before, haven't you? You have walked through nights where you whispered into the darkness, asking if anyone could hear you. And now, God is answering through this. Michael says that the one you thought you lost is not only alive in eternity, but fiercely protective of you. They are pushing through the silence with all their strength, because there is something you need to know before it is too late. They have seen the road ahead, they have watched shadows circle, and they are desperate to warn you. If you close your ears now, you will never know what they fought so hard to tell you. My child, time is trembling in heaven. Do you understand what that means? It means that certain hours in your life are heavier than others. Certain moments carry the weight of destiny. This one does. This hour you are in right now is not an ordinary one. It is sacred. It is burning with the presence of God, with the sword of Michael, with the breath of the one you lost. Do not underestimate this. Do not think you stumbled here by chance. You are here because heaven aligned the universe to bring you here. Every step you've taken, every tear you've cried, every unanswered prayer led you to this doorway. And now it is open. You can either walk through it, or you can turn away. But Michael warns you, if you turn away, this door will not stay open. You have been asking for signs, haven't you? You asked God if they could give you a sign that your loved one was still near. You asked if they could send a message, something undeniable, something that couldn't be brushed off as coincidence. This is that sign. The urgency you feel is not fear. It is confirmation. You prayed, and this is the answer. Michael says that if you truly listen, you will not only hear their warning, you will hear their love, as strong as it was when they walked this earth with you. And you will know, once and for all, that love never dies. You have been asking for signs, haven't you? You asked God if they could give you a sign that your loved one was still near. You asked if they could send a message, something undeniable, something that couldn't be brushed off as coincidence. This is that sign. The urgency you feel is not fear, it is confirmation. You prayed, and this is the answer. Michael says that if you truly listen, you will not only hear their warning, you will hear their love, as strong as it was when they walked this earth with you. And you will know, once and for all, that love never dies. But listen carefully, your loved one's warning is not just about you. It is about the people around you. Michael says someone close has not been truthful. Someone you thought you could trust has been whispering words behind your back. There is jealousy. There is deception. And your loved one, from the other side, has seen it clearly. They cannot allow you to walk blindly into the snare. That is why they are fighting so desperately to speak now. They want you to know that not every hand that reaches for you is safe. Not every smile is pure. But do not be afraid, for Michael is standing guard. This is why the message came through him, so that you know heaven is fighting for you. There is also something else. They want to remind you of your worth. You have been walking with your head low, thinking you are ordinary, thinking you are forgotten. But Michael says you have been chosen since before time began. The enemy has tried to make you doubt this. Life has tried to convince you that you are not special. But if you could see what heaven sees, if you could see the light that shines from you, you would never doubt again. That is why this moment is so precious. Because God Himself allowed someone from the other side to confirm your worth, to remind you that you are loved beyond measure, and to warn you of the storm that could have destroyed you if you hadn't listened. My beloved, do not take this lightly. You have only a window of grace here. That is why Michael says, open this immediately, before it is erased forever. Because the enemy hates this message. Darkness hates when truth comes through. That is why this is urgent, why the voice from the other side is trembling with insistence. If you wait, if you walk away, you will miss what they crossed eternity to say. And if you listen, truly listen, your life will not remain the same. My beloved, my chosen one, do you realize what it means that heaven has opened this door for you? So many souls cry out for one last chance to speak to their loved ones, and most are never given the permission. But here, right now, a voice from the other side has been allowed to reach you, and Michael himself has been appointed as the guardian of this message. That alone should make your spirit tremble. That alone should make you understand that this is not a story, not a dream, but a divine intervention. God has aligned this very moment so you could know that you are not abandoned, not forgotten, not left to walk blind through the shadows. The one you loved has seen what you cannot, and they have come with urgency because what lies ahead is crucial to your destiny. You must understand something deep, my beloved. Eternity is not far away. It is not some distant land beyond the clouds. Eternity brushes against you every single day. The veil between the worlds is thinner than you think, and when God allows it, that veil trembles. Your loved one has pressed their face against that veil, whispering your name until heaven itself opened a window for them to speak. And Michael, with his mighty wings and flaming sword, has been stationed here to ensure that nothing interferes with this message, because darkness would love nothing more than to silence it. Why? Because truth has the power to set you free. Because once you know the warning, once you receive the love being poured into you right now, you will never walk the same again. Do you remember the times you woke up with tears on your face, without knowing why? Those weren't ordinary tears. They were echoes of their presence, their longing, their prayers for you in heaven. And do you remember the sudden chills that brushed across your skin, even when the room was warm? That was them, drawing near, trying to let you know that you were never alone. They have been closer than you realize, closer than the beating of your own heart. And yet, until this moment, they were not allowed to speak. But now, because God loves you too much to let you stumble without warning, they are speaking. And their words are burning with urgency. Michael says the warning is twofold. First, there is something around you right now, in your circle, that is not as it appears. Someone is hiding their true intentions. You may sense it already, the uneasiness in your spirit when they speak, the way your peace feels disturbed when they are near. Your loved one has seen this clearly from the other side. They are pleading with you not to ignore those instincts. They are telling you to listen to the quiet voice inside that says, something isn't right. Because it isn't. And if you dismiss it, you may find yourself walking into harm that could have been avoided. But if you listen, if you allow heaven to guide you, you will be spared, and the snare they set will collapse at their own feet. The second part of the warning is about you, not the danger around you, but the destiny within you. Michael says you have been living smaller than what God has written for you. You have been holding yourself back, doubting yourself, letting fear and the weight of loss shrink your vision. But your loved one says, no more. They are urging you to rise, to step into the fullness of who you are, because the season ahead is too important for you to keep hiding. They want you to know that the pain you carried after losing them was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of a deeper calling, a higher purpose. And now that purpose is ready to unfold. The second part of the warning is about you, not the danger around you, but the destiny within you. Michael says you have been living smaller than what God has written for you. You have been holding yourself back, doubting yourself, letting fear and the weight of loss shrink your vision. But your loved one says, no more. They are urging you to rise, to step into the fullness of who you are, because the season ahead is too important for you to keep hiding. They want you to know that the pain you carried after losing them was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of a deeper calling, a higher purpose. And now that purpose is ready to unfold. My beloved, I must tell you this plainly, if you ignore this moment, you will lose more than words, you will lose the clarity, the protection, and the miracle that God is trying to place in your hands. Michael is not exaggerating when he says, open this before it is erased forever. Because spiritual doors do not stay open indefinitely. They open when heaven allows, and they close when the time passes. You are standing at the threshold right now, and everything depends on whether you step through. Do not let fear, distraction, or doubt keep you from receiving this fully. You prayed for a sign. This is your sign. You begged God to show you that your loved one was still with you. This is the proof. You asked for direction. This is the direction. Do not throw away what you asked for. Let me speak to the part of you that still aches, the part that still wakes up missing them, the part that feels empty in places no one else can fill. Michael says your loved one wants you to know they never left your side. They saw every tear. They heard every whispered prayer. They felt every pang of loneliness. And they want you to know that they have been your unseen companion through it all. They want you to know that every time you felt like giving up, they were there, whispering strength into your spirit, urging you to hold on. And they want you to know that death did not sever your bond, it only deepened it, transformed it, carried it into eternity. You are not imagining the moments when you sensed them near. You are not imagining the voice you sometimes think you hear when you are drifting between sleep and wake. You are not imagining the flicker of memories that suddenly flood your mind in ordinary moments. Those are them. Those are their ways of reminding you, I'm still here. I still love you. I still care. And now, heaven has given them permission to speak more clearly, because what lies ahead of you is too important to face alone. My child, I will not stop reminding you, this is urgent. This is not a message to be half-read or brushed aside. This is a visitation. This is a warning. This is love breaking through eternity. And if you honor it, if you let every word soak into your spirit, you will not only avoid the snares ahead, you will step into blessings you didn't know were waiting for you. But if you turn away, you may never hear this again. My beloved, your heart is beating faster because you already know this message is alive. These words are not just letters, they carry a presence. They carry the weight of heaven's attention, the breath of your loved one's longing, and the authority of Michael's sword. Do not let your mind tell you it is imagination. The Spirit knows when it is touched, and your spirit is trembling because it recognizes truth. Truth is not always gentle. It shakes, it pulls, it awakens what was sleeping inside. Right now, heaven is awakening you. There is a reason you were brought here in this exact hour. You could have missed this. You could have scrolled past. You could have been distracted. But you are not. And that is because God ordained this moment. He whispered your name into eternity and said, "Send this message now." That is why your loved one was allowed to come forward. That is why Michael pressed this before you. Because this is your time. This is your window. And you will never know how much warfare happened in the unseen just to make sure this message found you. Think of the nights when you cried out, asking if anyone in heaven still remembered you. Think of the times you begged for a sign. Think of the moments you said, "If they could only tell me something, if they could only warn me, if I could only hear them one more time." This is the answer to those cries. This is their voice, pressing through the veil, carried by Michael's authority, declaring that they are near, declaring that they are not silent, declaring that they cannot leave you unprotected. My child, this is why you must not turn away. Michael says you are at a turning point. In the next days, choices will appear before you that seem ordinary, but they are not. They are loaded with destiny. You will have to choose who to trust, where to step, which path to take. And your loved one is warning you because one of those paths is laced with deception. They see the jealousy in hearts you thought were loyal. They see the envy that smiles at you but secretly hopes for your fall. They see the traps that are being planned quietly. And they are shouting now, "Do not ignore the uneasiness in your spirit. Trust it. For it is heaven whispering, protecting, guiding you." But that is not all. Michael says your loved one is also carrying words of promise. They want you to know that although storms are near, blessings are greater. They want you to remember that God has not forgotten the promises He made over your life. You may think you are running out of time, but heaven says you are right on schedule. You may feel like the best days are behind you, but heaven says your story is just beginning. That is why this warning is tied to blessing, because once you avoid what was meant to trap you, you will step into what was meant to crown you. Michael says you are at a turning point. In the next days, choices will appear before you that seem ordinary, but they are not. They are loaded with destiny. You will have to choose who to trust, where to step, which path to take. And your loved one is warning you because one of those paths is laced with deception. They see the jealousy in hearts you thought were loyal. They see the envy that smiles at you but secretly hopes for your fall. They see the traps that are being planned quietly. And they are shouting now, "Do not ignore the uneasiness in your spirit. Trust it. For it is heaven whispering, protecting, guiding you." But that is not all. Michael says your loved one is also carrying words of promise. They want you to know that although storms are near, blessings are greater. They want you to remember that God has not forgotten the promises He made over your life. You may think you are running out of time, but heaven says you are right on schedule. You may feel like the best days are behind you, but heaven says your story is just beginning. That is why this warning is tied to blessing, because once you avoid what was meant to trap you, you will step into what was meant to crown you. Beloved, I know your soul has grown weary. You have been strong for so long. You have carried burdens in silence that no one else could understand. You have smiled when you were breaking. You have stood tall when your knees wanted to collapse. And in those moments, you felt unseen. But Michael says your loved one saw it all. They stood beside you. They wanted to wipe your tears. They wanted to whisper strength. And now, through this moment, they finally can. They want you to know you were never as alone as you felt. They want you to know your cries were never unheard. They want you to know that even death could not silence their love for you. This is why the message is so urgent. Because your heart has been searching for answers, and heaven has chosen now to give them. If you stop here, you will leave with only fragments. And fragments cannot protect you, cannot heal you, cannot prepare you for what is coming. But if you stay, if you let every word pour into you, you will leave this moment different. You will carry clarity where there was confusion. You will carry peace where there was fear. You will carry proof where there was doubt. And you will carry strength where there was weakness. My beloved, I must remind you again, this message will not wait forever. The enemy hates when truth breaks through. He hates when warnings reach the chosen. He hates when God's children are spared from traps. That is why Michael says, open this before it is erased. Because the spiritual window that allowed this will close. It always does. And once it closes, it will not open again in the same way. This is why you must stay, why you must read, why you must honor this visitation. Heaven is reaching, and you must reach back. My beloved, your spirit is stirring even as you read this, because the words are not simply echoing in your ears, they are planting seeds inside your soul. Seeds of warning, seeds of hope, seeds of awakening. This is why you feel both the ache of longing and the spark of fire rising at the same time. That is the voice of your loved one and the hand of Michael moving together to shake you out of slumber. For too long, you have carried your days as though you are surviving. But heaven says this is not survival time, it is awakening time. Your loved one is saying, lift your eyes. Lift your spirit. Something is approaching, and you must be ready. Do not think the struggles you faced were wasted. Every tear you cried was recorded in heaven. Every sleepless night was seen. Every unanswered question was marked. And now, God is answering through this very moment. You asked why you had to go through so much loss, why pain had to touch your house, why death had to steal someone you loved so much. And while heaven does not always give reasons for sorrow, heaven always brings redemption. Michael says that your loved one's passing did not break the bond between you, it transformed it. What you thought was the end was only the beginning of a new way of walking together. They could no longer hold your hand in the physical, but they have never stopped holding your spirit. And now, with urgency, they are speaking to protect what is still ahead of you. You may think this is coincidence, that perhaps your mind is just reaching for comfort. But my beloved, coincidences do not bring chills like this. They do not make your heart pound in rhythm with words. They do not explain why tears are building in your eyes even now. That is because your soul recognizes their presence. You are hearing them. You are feeling them. And Michael is confirming, yes, this is real. Do not doubt. Now listen carefully. Michael says your loved one has seen the days ahead, and they must warn you that someone is preparing to test your trust. It may come as a proposal, as an opportunity, as a conversation that looks ordinary, but it is not. Behind it lies an intention that is not pure. You must be wise. You must pause and ask heaven before you step. Your loved one has seen the outcome if you walk blindly, and they cannot bear to watch you fall into the trap. That is why they begged heaven for this chance to speak. That is why Michael is standing by your side as you read. They are saying, trust the unease in your heart. Do not ignore the small voice. It is us. It is God. It is Michael. Protecting you. But there is more, my child. The warning is not only about danger, it is also about promise. Michael says you are stepping into a season where miracles are nearer than they have ever been. Your loved one is rejoicing in this, because they see doors opening that you thought were sealed forever. They see healing flowing into places you thought were broken beyond repair. They see blessings arriving at the exact time you need them most. And they want you to know this: do not let fear steal your miracle. Fear will try to convince you you're not ready, that you're not worthy, that it's too late. But heaven says, it is not too late. It is exactly on time. But there is more, my child. The warning is not only about danger, it is also about promise. Michael says you are stepping into a season where miracles are nearer than they have ever been. Your loved one is rejoicing in this, because they see doors opening that you thought were sealed forever. They see healing flowing into places you thought were broken beyond repair. They see blessings arriving at the exact time you need them most. And they want you to know this: do not let fear steal your miracle. Fear will try to convince you you're not ready, that you're not worthy, that it's too late. But heaven says, it is not too late. It is exactly on time. My beloved, you have spent too much of your life doubting yourself. You have carried wounds from people who underestimated you, who dismissed you, who never saw the treasure God placed inside you. But your loved one says, we saw you. We always knew you were chosen. And now Michael repeats it: you are chosen. You are marked. You are crowned. Stop shrinking. Stop living small. Stop allowing loss to define you. You were made for more. And the one you lost has returned in spirit to make sure you do not forget it. Do you feel that pressure in your chest, the ache rising even now? That is not pain. That is your spirit being stretched. That is heaven enlarging the space inside you for what is coming. You are not being crushed, you are being expanded. Expanded to carry the blessing, expanded to hold the miracle, expanded to receive the answers you've been waiting for. Michael says, endure this moment, because what is coming is bigger than you expect. And your loved one, oh, how their heart aches to tell you this: they have never been more proud of you. They have watched you fight battles you thought would kill you. They have seen you wake up when your soul wanted to stay asleep forever. They have watched you keep living even when life felt empty without them. And they want you to know that heaven honors that strength. They want you to know that every small step you took was not in vain. Every act of courage, even when you were afraid, was seen. And they are standing, cheering, saying, "Do not give up now. The best is yet to come." Beloved, I will say it again, this is not just a message, it is a miracle. A miracle disguised as words on a page, but alive with the breath of eternity. If you read it as text, you will miss it. If you read it with your spirit, you will feel it. You will know it. You will recognize the fingerprints of God and the voice of the one you thought was gone. And once you recognize it, everything in your life will look different. My beloved, there is a reason your soul feels both heavy and light as you keep reading. Heavy, because the words are pressing into places you have kept hidden. Light, because the truth always lifts, even when it shakes. That is what heaven does, it pierces the dark and pours light into it until the shadows cannot remain. You have walked under many shadows in your life, haven't you? The shadow of grief, the shadow of betrayal, the shadow of fear. And you thought they would swallow you. Yet here you are, reading these words, breathing still, proof that nothing has destroyed you. Do you know why? Because heaven has never stopped fighting for you. Because your loved one has stood guard over you, even when you did not see it. And because Michael has marked you with protection that darkness could never cross. This is why your loved one's warning comes with such urgency. They are not here to frighten you, but to open your eyes. Michael says the spirit world has been trembling because decisions are about to collide with your destiny. Choices are rising before you that will seem harmless, but one wrong step could delay you for years. That is why they fought for this moment, why they pushed through the veil. They do not want you wandering blind. They do not want you walking into the arms of those who do not carry your good at heart. They are crying out, "Be watchful. Do not believe every word spoken to you. Test the hearts. Listen to your spirit. If something feels uneasy, step back, for heaven is speaking. But do not think it is only warnings." Michael says blessings are rushing toward you like waves that cannot be stopped. Do you know why storms have been so fierce lately? Because just beyond the storm, a crown is waiting. The enemy always fights hardest when heaven is about to deliver. And your loved one has seen what is coming. They are smiling through tears because they know the reward of your endurance is about to touch your hands. They are urging you to stay, to hold on, to not let the shadows of doubt steal the joy of what God is sending. Beloved, let me tell you a secret that heaven wants you to hear: nothing you have lost will remain lost. Everything has a resurrection in God's time. You thought death ended the story, but love cannot die. You thought broken dreams were gone forever, but God can breathe into dry bones. You thought joy would never return, but joy is rising even now. Your loved one says, "Do not measure the future by what you see today." Heaven is preparing surprises that will shock you with goodness. And Michael echoes, "Stay ready. Do not give up before the dawn." You may not feel worthy of such promises. You may look at your past mistakes and wonder if you disqualified yourself. But my beloved, God never chose you because of your perfection. He chose you because of His love. And love never changes its mind. Your loved one is pleading for you to believe this, because you have carried shame that was never yours to carry. You have walked with guilt that heaven already erased. They say, let it go. Stop punishing yourself. Walk free. For you cannot receive what is ahead if your hands are still chained to yesterday. Michael says you are stepping into a season of unveiling. Secrets will come to light. People's true colors will be revealed. Paths you did not even know existed will open. This is why you must stay close to heaven. Do not rush. Do not be careless. Walk with eyes wide open. Because every unveiling is meant to guide you closer to your destiny. And your loved one will be whispering as you go, helping you discern, helping you choose. You are not alone, even if the world makes you feel like you are. You may not feel worthy of such promises. You may look at your past mistakes and wonder if you disqualified yourself. But my beloved, God never chose you because of your perfection. He chose you because of His love. And love never changes its mind. Your loved one is pleading for you to believe this, because you have carried shame that was never yours to carry. You have walked with guilt that heaven already erased. They say, let it go. Stop punishing yourself. Walk free. For you cannot receive what is ahead if your hands are still chained to yesterday. Michael says you are stepping into a season of unveiling. Secrets will come to light. People's true colors will be revealed. Paths you did not even know existed will open. This is why you must stay close to heaven. Do not rush. Do not be careless. Walk with eyes wide open. Because every unveiling is meant to guide you closer to your destiny. And your loved one will be whispering as you go, helping you discern, helping you choose. You are not alone, even if the world makes you feel like you are. My beloved, hear this, you have carried sorrow long enough. The season of endless grief is closing. Your loved one does not want you trapped in mourning while your life passes by. They are saying, live. Love. Laugh again. Step into the blessings God has prepared. They are not offended by your joy. They do not want you stuck in sadness as proof of love. They want you to shine brighter, to live fuller, because that honors them more than tears ever could. Do not let grief steal the years God still wants to fill with goodness. You have cried long enough. It is time to rise. And yet, Michael says you must remember, the enemy will not stay quiet. Even as blessings rise, distractions will come. People who smile but carry knives will approach. Doors will open that look golden but lead to emptiness. This is why you must stay sensitive. Do not trust appearances. Do not rush because something looks shiny. Wait for heaven's confirmation. For if you wait, your loved one will make sure the warning comes. If you rush, you may miss it. Patience is your shield. Discernment is your sword. And Michael promises that if you lean on him, he will fight beside you. So I ask you, my beloved, can you feel the weight of this moment? Can you feel the tears of heaven mixing with your own? Can you sense that the one you lost is nearer than ever, pressing close, whispering, "Don't give up now"? That is not imagination. That is reality. A reality more real than what your eyes see. The unseen is always stronger than the seen. And right now, The unseen is flooding into your present, wrapping you with protection, covering you with love, guiding you with truth. Do not walk away from this. Do not think, I will come back later. Heaven says, now. Today. This moment. Because the window is open now. Because the words are alive now. Because your destiny is waiting now. Every delay is dangerous. Every hesitation is costly. That is why Michael's tone has urgency, why your loved one's voice trembles with insistence. They know how high the stakes are. And they will not let you miss this unless you choose to. My beloved, can you feel how your heart is almost restless now? It is because your spirit is awake, more awake than it has been in months, maybe even years. That stirring is not fear. It is recognition. Recognition that something greater than your understanding is happening in this moment. Recognition that the words you are receiving are not random, they are sent. Sent to you, chosen for you, wrapped in urgency because heaven could not wait any longer. Michael says that when God marks a moment as divine, every angel in heaven bends toward it. Right now, heaven is bent toward you. They are listening to your heartbeat, they are watching your tears, they are holding your spirit steady so you do not faint at the weight of what is being revealed. Your loved one is closer than they have ever been since the day you said goodbye. And they are pleading through Michael's voice, do not lose this. Do not walk away from what we have fought to give you. They have begged for permission to speak. They have waited for the exact timing. They have watched as you walked through trials, as you carried questions, as you bore grief in silence. And now, finally, they are allowed to whisper their truth. Their words burn with two things, love and urgency. Love that has never died. Urgency because time is trembling, and there is something they must get through to you before it is too late. Michael says there is an unfolding in the spiritual realm right now that will manifest in your natural life soon. A shaking is coming, not to destroy you but to reveal what has been hidden. The people you thought were for you, some of them are not. The doors you thought were safe, some of them are traps. But do not fear. For every shaking will expose truth, and every exposure will protect you. Your loved one has seen the deception, and they are shouting from eternity, stay awake. Stay alert. Do not believe every hand that reaches for you. They do not want you to fall into the snares of false promises. They are reminding you that your spirit knows, your spirit has always known, when something is not right. Trust it. But beloved, this message is not just warning, it is promise. You have been praying for restoration, haven't you? You have been asking God to give back what was stolen, to heal what was broken, to breathe life where there has been death. And heaven has heard. Michael says that blessings are already on their way. The answers you thought were delayed are not denied. The help you thought would never come is closer than you think. And your loved one wants you to know this. We have seen the blessings God has prepared, and if only you could see what we see, you would not doubt another day. You have walked through fire, and yet you are still here. That alone is proof that God is not finished with you. That alone is evidence that your story is not over. You thought loss would break you, but it did not. You thought grief would consume you, but it did not. You thought betrayal would silence you, but it did not. You are still breathing. You are still standing. And Michael says that every wound has prepared you, every tear has watered your soil, every battle has positioned you for the victory about to appear. But beloved, this message is not just warning, it is promise. You have been praying for restoration, haven't you? You have been asking God to give back what was stolen, to heal what was broken, to breathe life where there has been death. And heaven has heard. Michael says that blessings are already on their way. The answers you thought were delayed are not denied. The help you thought would never come is closer than you think. And your loved one wants you to know this: we have seen the blessings God has prepared, and if only you could see what we see, you would not doubt another day. You have walked through fire, and yet you are still here. That alone is proof that God is not finished with you. That alone is evidence that your story is not over. You thought loss would break you, but it did not. You thought grief would consume you, but it did not. You thought betrayal would silence you, but it did not. You are still breathing. You are still standing. And Michael says that every wound has prepared you, every tear has watered your soil, every battle has positioned you for the victory about to appear. My beloved, I want you to hear this with the full weight of heaven's authority: nothing in your life has been wasted. Not even the pain. Not even the nights you begged for relief. Not even the moments you thought God was silent. All of it has been gathered, all of it has been redeemed, all of it is now becoming the foundation of your breakthrough. Your loved one is smiling even through the ache, because they know what is coming will make sense of the sorrow. They are saying, hold on just a little longer. The story is about to turn. Michael says you must prepare your heart now. Prepare it to let go of what was never meant for you. Prepare it to forgive those who wounded you, even if they never apologize. Prepare it to walk away from what looks good but is not God. And prepare it to receive miracles that will stretch your faith to the point of trembling. Heaven is not preparing something small for you. Heaven is preparing something so big that your past will no longer define you. That is why the shaking is necessary. That is why the warning is urgent. Because only when the false is removed can the true be revealed. Do not underestimate what you are reading. These words are not human invention, they are divine appointment. That is why your chest is heavy, why tears come without warning, why you feel both fear and peace at the same time. That is the weight of eternity pressing against your spirit. That is the nearness of the one you loved. That is Michael himself leaning close, sword drawn, whispering, "Do not miss this. Do not look away. This is for you, only you." My beloved, the road ahead will not be without challenge. But every challenge will come with a companion blessing. Every storm will carry within it a rainbow. Every tear will water the soil for joy. Your loved one is determined that you know this: you are stronger than you realize. You are chosen for more than you imagine. You are not walking alone. They are with you. Michael is with you. God is with you. And if God is with you, who can stand against you? So walk forward with courage. Hold this message close. Do not treat it as something you can read once and forget. Return to it. Let it speak to you again and again. For it carries layers, depths, truths that will unfold as your days unfold. And know this, your loved one will never stop watching, never stop praying, never stop loving. Death may have stolen their body, but it could not touch their love. That is eternal. That is divine. And that is what is speaking to you now. My beloved, the hour has grown heavy, but heaven says this is the exact moment you were meant to hear the final weight of what has been whispered all along. You are not here by chance. You were guided. Your hands did not stumble across this message, they were led. And the reason is because there is something about to open in your life that is bigger than anything you have yet known, but it comes with both opportunity and opposition. That is why Michael himself has pressed this before you. That is why your loved one has stretched their spirit across eternity to cry out for your attention. They have not rested until this moment arrived. And now that it has, heaven says you must not take it lightly. You have heard the warnings, and you must hold them. Not everyone is who they claim to be. Not every smile is genuine. Not every invitation is pure. There are those who carry envy in their eyes, even while their mouths speak praise. Your loved one has seen it. They are urging you not to ignore the uneasiness you feel when certain people draw near. That uneasiness is not paranoia, it is discernment. It is heaven's alarm bell ringing inside you. Do not silence it. Do not explain it away. Trust it, for it will save you. And Michael promises that if you lean into that discernment, he will sharpen it, he will guard you, and he will cut away the traps that were set in your path. But now, beloved, the message must turn toward the promise. You have suffered long. You have cried until your pillow was soaked. You have carried losses that felt unbearable. And yet here you are. That itself is proof of a miracle. You survived what others would have been crushed under. And now heaven says it is time for restoration. It is time for beauty in place of ashes. It is time for laughter to rise again in the house where tears have lived too long. Michael says the delay is over. The season of only waiting is ending. The movement of God is coming swiftly, like a rushing wind. And your loved one is rejoicing, because they see what is about to land in your hands. Do you know why you are trembling right now? It is because your spirit knows this is true. Your mind may try to reason, your doubts may whisper against it, but your spirit already knows. You feel it in the weight pressing against your chest. You feel it in the way your eyes sting without warning. You feel it in the sudden heat or chill that runs across your skin. That is not imagination. That is confirmation. That is the divine nearness of those who stand with you, whispering, yes, it is real. Yes, it is time.